Massive NBA scandal resulting in multiple arrests, including one current coach, as well as multiple current players, as well as other people outside of the NBA world. Look, Chauncey Billups, current NBA coach for the Portland Trail Blazers, was arrested yesterday morning, as well as Terry Rozier and Damon Jones, ex-NBA player. Now, essentially what happened with Chauncey Billups was, and this is all according to the FBI, so, obviously you're still to be found guilty. This doesn't mean they did it, but, if the FBI is arresting you at 3 a.m., it doesn't look good. I'll say that. And, so Chauncey Billups, he was supposedly involved in both sides of the gambling operation. He was in on rigging poker games. From millionaires and billionaires would come play poker games. You can come play with an NBA coach. Chauncey Billups was part of the rigging of the games. So they're using special devices and cameras and tables that can read cards that are face down. So pretty sophisticated gambling operation. And essentially that's just theft. I mean, it's pretty simple. We can simplify it into, we're going to bet $20 on this coin flip. Well, I bet heads and both sides are heads, so that's called theft. Not super complicated, and when you're stealing millions of dollars, that's pretty alarming. And in terms of Damon Jones, Terry Rozier, as well as Chauncey Billups, what they were doing, specifically Terry Rozier, because we already have the example of what he did, was he would bet the under and or tell his friends and family to bet the under on his props. So under on my points, under on my assists, under on my rebounds, and then he would fake getting injured to start the game. So those bets would hit, and Chauncey Billups was also involved in that in terms of benching players. So he would bench starters. A starter's got over under 22.5 points. He benches them randomly for disciplinary reasons or something like that, and then he tells people to bet the under. So obviously very illegal things, and I mean there really isn't much gray area. This isn't something like if you gambled on your over or on your team, I would probably come out and defend these people. If Chauncey Billups was like, look, I think my team's going to win. I'm going to bet on us to win the chip. I think that's fair game. Now, it's not legal. They can't do it. I'm just saying I view that would be in a completely different sense. Betting on yourself to win, which is what you're supposed to be doing, there is no insider information. I'm going to coach my best, and I think we're going to win. What's the insider information? You can only manipulate things negatively. You can't manipulate things positively. That wouldn't even. I don't even know how that would work. Like Usain Bolt says, you know what? If my over under on my 100-meter time is 9.5 and under. Well, it'd be reversing the situation because under would be good. But if he bet the under, there'd be no issue with that because obviously he's trying to run as fast as possible. Anyways, it's not like it's not like he's been holding in running faster for years. Obviously, everybody wants to win, so duh. But I would really personally have no issue with it. I wouldn't find it corrupt in any way if they're betting on themselves to do good. The issue is when you are betting the under or betting your team to lose, and then you intentionally turn the ball over, intentionally miss. I mean, that's just theft, and that hurts the integrity of the league. I will say this, though. A lot of people are viewing this as, oh, this is proof sport leagues are rigged. There's a lot of conspiracy brains. Number one, I would like to point out, whenever I heard about these rigged conspiracies, it was a top-down from Adam Silver, from Roger Goodell, and what they would do is they would determine the winner. None of these things that happened were determinative. Terry Rozier faking an injury had no effect on any championships. Let's be honest. Terry Rozier playing or not playing, all it affected was his prop bets hitting. He's completely irrelevant. Chauncey Billups, the Portland Trailblazers, unironically, the Portland Trailblazers were trying to lose games. Now, I know he just came in, so it wasn't him. He was on a different team, but he'd be good for that tanking operation. And look, this just is completely different from what people have been discussing for years. People say, oh, well, that hold wasn't called. The referees want the Chiefs to win. No, that's completely separate from people in their personal, a small subsection of a league, the NBA, and maybe it's prevalent in other leagues. People are doing prop bets, trying to rig prop bets. That's not rigging the game is complete. I mean, that would shut down the league. If that was what was found was Adam Silver was rigging the league in cahoots with Las Vegas to make Vegas says we've got too much money on the Lakers winning the chip. We need them to lose. If that was proven, that would be rigging the league. Terry Rozier faking an ankle injury, that's not rigging the league. Are we serious? And this is actually proof that the league isn't rigged, because we see that there are crackdowns on these things. And unless you think that the FBI is making a weird statement, I mean, it'd be one thing if Roger Goodell was doing it. We're looking tough. We're looking to crack down on people to have the appearance that we're real. They're putting a blindfold over your eyes. They're saying they are rigging the league, but we're gonna have a fall guy that was betting. That's not what happened. The FBI went over top of the NBA and said, you guys are doing illegal gambling. So, I mean, this is evidence that there isn't a top-down rigging of the NBA or the NFL, which isn't even possible, to be clear. The only thing you could possibly do is this, which I've mentioned in previous Sports Are Rigged videos, is, you could intentionally play poorly. Duh. I mean, you could do that. Now, is it going to be determinant for the game? Could you do it over a long period of time? I don't really think so. Look, Terry Rozier, there's compilations of him having insane turnovers. And that was just in one game. I mean, it wasn't determinant inside of that own game, but for you to try to sway the outcome of a team winning or losing over a season, it would be nearly impossible. You would have to, I mean, the only way I could think of it, because you can't script it, especially the NFL, with how physical it is and with how many tough things you need to happen, but even with the NBA, the only way I could hypothetically, if I want to get super conspiracy brain, think about this working is, one specific play. So somebody's at a free throw line. If they make it, they tie and go into overtime. If they lose, the team loses. Some super weird scenario. There's no time left on the clock. And all the players actually have mini earpieces. And everybody misses free throws from time to time. So they get in the earpiece and they say all the live bets are on the Clippers. And it's Kawhi Leonard at the line, and they're like, Kawhi, we need you to miss. We need you to miss. And Kawhi's like, okay, I'll miss. That could hypothetically happen. Logically speaking, that is something that is possible. But saying that the games are actually scripted and rigged, and they just want the Knicks and Lakers to be in every finals, even though neither team has, the Lakers won a finals 5 years ago, but in the last 10 years, the major cities in the NBA and NFL have. You got the Lakers with one. You've got the Rams with one. The Jets and Giants stink. The Nets and Knicks stink. I mean, the major markets, the Chicagos, the New Yorks, the LAs, in the last 10, 15 years, they've got one championship each.